Zhezhi might seem sweet and innocent, but this 5-star rectifier wielder is a glacial powerhouse, combining DPS and support into a balanced hybrid role. She's pretty versatile, and might just be the best off-field DPS in the game right now. If you're looking to understand her kit, or need recommendations for weapons, echoes, skill priorities, and team comps, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Zhezhi's Resonance skill works in tandem with her Forte Circuit inherent skills and the Afflatus stacking mechanics. When executed properly, you can unleash all the damage-boosting buffs in one smooth combo. Her full combat rotation looks something like this. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's rewind a bit and first cover how her Resonance skill works. Zhezhi's Resonance skill has 3 versions: Manifestation, Stroke of Genius, and Creation's Zenith. To keep things simple, we'll call them E1, E2, and E3. Manifestation, or E1, works with Zhezhi's Forte stacks called Afflatus. She can store up to 90 Afflatus, which she can use to perform an enhanced version of her Resonance skill or heavy attack. You can generate Afflatus by doing normal attacks and intro skill. If you cast E1 without enough Afflatus stacks, Zhezhi will simply deal ice damage to enemies. But with 60 or more Afflatus, she'll additionally conjure phantasmic imprints left and right on the field. You can activate it by pressing the Resonance skill on the ground or in the air. You can also hold the Resonance skill button to summon the imprints in the air automatically. These imprints are pretty much a requirement, so you can cast the enhanced version of her Resonance skill via her Forte Circuit. When there is at least one phantasmic imprint on the field, Zhezhi will use the Stroke of Genius skill, E2, instead of E1. She will blink to the imprint and summon a Crane Spirit to attack your target. Additionally, each Crane attack grants her 1 stack of Painter's Delight, which is essential for casting the 3rd form of her Resonance skill, Creation's Zenith. Once you have 2 stacks of Painter's Delight, E2 upgrades to Creation's Zenith, or E3. You can track Painter's Delight stacks via the icon above her Forte bar. Like E2, E3 summons a Crane Spirit to attack, but this time it deals 3 instances of glacial damage and provides an 18% basic attack damage buff for 25 seconds. While there's no visual change on the Resonance skill icon when it upgrades to E3, the Painter's Delight icon will disappear after you cast it. A key thing to remember is that E3 can't be cast if there are no imprints left on the field. So, to get the most out of her Resonance skill, use her Forte Circuit skill, Conjuration, to place 3 imprints on the field, which leads us to the next part. If you have at least 30 Afflatus, you can activate Conjuration and create Phantasmic Imprint Middle on the field. If used in conjunction with E1, this gives you 3 imprints, enabling Zhezhi to perform 3 Crane attacks. This also lets you gain 2 stacks of Painter's Delight and cast E3 in one sequence without waiting for your skill's cooldown. Plus, you'll get the full 3 stacks of her first inherent skill, granting an 18% attack buff for 22 seconds. The easiest way to cast Conjuration is by tapping the basic attack button immediately after you cast your E1 Resonance skill. But there would be times where you will get hit, and therefore won't be able to activate it after casting Resonance skill. In those cases, you can also hold the basic attack button after basic attack pattern 3 while in mid-air or after a perfect dodge. Alternatively, you can also hold basic attack after casting the Stroke of Genius, or E2. Zhezhi's Resonance Liberation is pretty straightforward, but it's also the bread and butter of her kit as a sub-DPS. Upon casting, Inklet Spirits perform coordinated attacks whenever anyone damages an enemy. When anyone from your team damages an enemy, up to 3 Inklet Spirits will be summoned, but only 1 spirit is released every 1 second. The skill lasts 30 seconds with a 25-second cooldown, but it will stop once 21 Inklet Spirits have been summoned. It also costs 125 energy to cast, which is somewhere in the middle and on par with many other resonators. For reference, Yangyang, Sanhua, and Danjin are cheaper at 100 energy, while Jinsi, Verena, and Baiji sit at the higher end with 150. Zhezhi's intro skill is pretty standard and will deal Glacio damage upon arrival, but it's her outro skill that really makes her shine as a sub-DPS. The incoming character gains 20% Glacio damage and 25% resonance skill damage amplification for 14 seconds, or until switched out. And if you've unlocked her second passive, they also get 15 resonance energy, which, when you think about it, boosts your DPS by letting you trigger resonance liberation more often. On top of the core passive skills I've already mentioned, Zhezhi also gains 8% crit rate and 12% attack when all her minor passives are unlocked. The most important skills you want to level up are the Resonance, Liberation, and 4-Day Circuit. These, along with her Resonance skill, cover like 95% of Zhezhi's combat contribution. I suggest only upgrading Resonance, Liberation, 4-Day Circuit, Resonance skill, and all her passive skills. Then, consider building another character to conserve resources and wave plates. Here's a quick list of skills in order of priority. For the Sonata set, you can either go with the Freezing Frost or Moonlit Cloud set. Freezing Frost offers the highest damage potential, and Zhezhi can easily maintain its 3 stacks since her Resonance skill and Liberation count as basic attacks. Pair this set with Lampilumen as your main echo to boost Glacio and Resonance skill damage. Moonlit Clouds is another solid option, offering bonus energy regen and buffs for your main DPS. This set allows you to use Impermanence Heron as the main echo, generating 10 energy on hit and boosting your main DPS's damage by 12% for 15 seconds after using her outro skill. You'll lose about 11% of Zhezhi's personal damage compared to Freezing Frost, but casting Resonance Liberation becomes easier. For the build, stick with the standard 4-3-3-1-1 setup. Choose crit rate or crit damage for the 4-cost echo based on your weapon, Glacio damage for your 3-cost echo, and attack for the 1-cost echo. Take note that it's pretty important that you get a decent amount of energy regen so you can cast Zhezhi's Liberation reliably. About 150% should be pretty comfortable and will let you cast her ult again after doing your team's skill rotation. That said, you can replace one of the Glacio damage 3-cost echoes with an energy regen echo. You will lose about 10 to 14% of damage compared to Glacio damage if you go this route, but it will help you hit your energy regen requirements more easily. For the substats, aim to get at least 150 energy regen if you choose to go with the double Glacio damage echo. Then stack as much crit rate and crit damage as possible. Basic attack damage bonus and attack percent are also good to have, but not as important as crits and energy regen. For weapons, your top picks are Rime Drape Sprouts, String Master, and Cosmic Ripples. Zhezhi's signature weapon, Rime Drape Sprouts, will of course be the best in slot. It offers a high crit damage bonus, and its effects are tailor-made for Zhezhi. String Master is also a strong choice with its crit rate and elemental damage bonus. Plus, Zhezhi benefits greatly from its weapon effect while off-field. However, she can't fully capitalize on its weapon effect since most of her skills are classified as basic attack damage. Cosmic Ripples is another excellent alternative, boosting energy regen and stacking its weapon effects easily with Zhezhi's kit. If you can maintain full stacks, its damage is only about 10 to 11% lower than her signature weapon. The downside is its attack percent scaling, meaning you'll need to rely on substats for crit rate or crit damage. For 4-star options, Jinzo Keeper or the Augment Battle Pass weapon are good options if you want to maximize damage. Augment is a little better than Jinzo Keeper due to its crit stat and higher bonus effects. However, Jinzo Keeper is a little easier to refine since Augment is locked behind the Battle Pass. Alternatively, you can opt for ER weapons, like Rectifier 25 or Variation. You'll lose about 10 to 15% damage compared to Jinzo Keeper, but casting Resonance Liberation becomes significantly easier to cast. Plus, Variation makes filling up Concerto energy a breeze, and Rectifier 25 is a craftable 4-star weapon, so it's F2P friendly. It also eliminates your ER requirements, so you can focus on just crits and damage boost on your substats. If you're just starting out, the Guardian Rectifier, Rectifier of Night, or Rectifier of Voyager are solid starter weapons. Zhezhi's first resonance chain increases crit rate by 10% for 27 seconds and restores 15 energy after casting Creation Zenith, or E3. This is pretty good, as it lowers your ER and crit rate requirements. You will pretty much use E3 with every rotation, so it would have a pretty high uptime. S2 adds 6 more Inklet Spirits, increasing the maximum hits from 21 to 26. This improves Zhezhi's efficiency while off-field and boosts her DPS by about 18% compared to S0. At S3, casting any version of Zhezhi's resonance skill will increase her attack by 15% for 25 seconds. This can stack up to 3 times, so you can get up to a 45% attack increase if you cast all 3 skills within a single rotation. S4, on the other hand, boosts Zhezhi's support utility by increasing the entire team's attack by 20% when she casts Resonance Liberation. This buff lasts 30 seconds, giving you plenty of time to use multiple skills across your team within its duration. At S5, Zhezhi's coordinated attacks are further improved, adding an extra Inklet Fairy coordinated attack for every 3 Inklet Spirits unleashed by her Resonance Liberation. It deals 140% of the Inklet Spirit's damage, so this is actually more than just an extra spirit damage. In a 7-second single target scenario, this improves Zhezhi's DPS by about 74% compared to S0. Finally, at S6, Ivory Herald will be summoned upon casting her E2 or E3 skill. It will deal 120% of Stroke of Genius's damage and is also considered as basic attack damage. For context, Stroke of Genius has the highest damage scaling out of all of Zhezhi's skills, and you're not limited to casting her resonance skill just once in a rotation. In a 7-second single target scenario, this improves Zhezhi's DPS by about 40% compared to S5 and 214% compared to S0. Zhezhi's kit is pretty versatile, allowing her to fit in many different team comps. Her outro skill boosts resonance skill damage and provides energy regeneration, which characters like Jinxi and Changli can fully capitalize on. She pairs excellently with Jinxi, generating incandescent stacks faster while also dealing massive off-field damage. Even other main DPS characters, who might not gain much from the resonance skill boost, will find the bonus ER invaluable. Examples include Jiyan, Calcharo, Lingyang, Encore, and the upcoming free 5-star Zhangli Yao. And of course, she would work well with healers like Verena and Baiji. Plus, Zhezhi is one of the best at providing coordinated attacks. At the very least, she can provide awesome off-field damage for any team comp. If you want to get more team comp suggestions or more Wuthering Waves tips, check out these videos next.